Hello, hello, and welcome back to the lab. My name's Kel, and I'm here with Cody. And today we are going to be talking about NPC bodybuilding, divisions, and what judges are looking for. But
Yes.
first, how are you doing today, Cody?
Pretty good. Let's see. I get to like not wear my splint anymore. So my hand is free.
Yay!
I'm supposed to wear it like when I'm out and about, but at least when I'm typing and working and stuff, I don't have to wear it. I did do a little leg workout yesterday at the gym, so that was nice, but
Nice.
very minimal because I'm not supposed to like get my heart rate up too high because I guess it could push like fluids into my arm and then it
Mm.
can mess up the graft. So it was very minimal. Did not, it wasn't high effort by any means, but it was something. So hopefully, kind of from here, slowly but surely, I'll be getting back into things. I'll probably, work my other side of my body a little bit just because
Yeah.
there's like studies that show if you work the non-injured side, that it helps preserve muscle mass on the other side. So figured, hey, why not? And it gets me out of the house. It's so weird, like when you work for yourself, and like
Yeah.
the gym is usually the thing that I get out of the house for. So then when you can't go to the gym, like I've just been in the house. I'm just like, this is depressing. Yeah, like, I need
You're
a
like, I haven't talked to a human in a while.
right. It's just like I'm constantly talking with humans, but it's through the computer, so
Right. Yeah. It's a little
it's
different.
different. So it was good to get out yesterday and experience the world. It was so weird, but
Yay.
anyways.
How was the
How
weather in
about you?
California? Has it been nice?
Yeah, it has been. So like it's definitely cooled down. We had like 3 weeks of like triple digit heat, which was awful. Um,
Oof.
I mean, it's been like a hot summer in general. For some reason, global warming. I don't know,
Hmm.
but yeah, it's been like
That
the
just that little thing.
the 80s, 90s. It's gonna be 75 on Friday, so like we've got some nicer weather, so it's doable.
Yeah, it's been like fall here. It has been
Oh well,
amazing.
it's early.
Like it was 49 degrees when I went to the gym this morning, so I sit on my truck. So,
Damn,
uh, heck yes,
that's
we're
chilly.
coming into my season. We're coming into my
Yeah,
season.
fall is the best season.
Yeah,
It just is.
yeah, yeah. It really is by far. But, um, yeah. Oh,
Prep.
but I
How's
did
everything
get.
going?
Yeah, yeah. Sorry. I got completely distracted. But I got really exciting news actually right before we went on pressed record essentially, and that my house was delivered to my land, and so I was gonna kind of just announce like I am moving out of Columbus into rural southern Ohio, which is everybody probably thinks I'm insane, but I got 6 acres down there, and we're gonna. Cody just raised his hand for the record. Um, but we got 6 acres. It's wooded. I'm gonna get a chance to have a home gym, like a freestanding gym. And yeah, I'm really stoked about it. So I move at the end of this month because we're insane. And yeah, so that's my one little exciting tidbit of information.
Yeah, and that's gonna be it's gonna be fun during prep.
Well, luckily we've packed, I would say we got 45% of everything packed already. And we're going to knock out the rest of it this weekend and have movers coming. So I will not have to be doing lifting. So that's
That's
very
good.
good.
Yeah, yeah.
Or at
Don't
least
have.
not as much.
Yeah, it's just like gotta save all that energy for your actual lifts because I know not
Absolutely.
gonna have much.
No, I mean, yeah, prep has been prepping, so it's been good time, but we finally got a nice little weight drop and I'm excited. So
Yeah,
everything's kind of going well on that end, I think
just
at least. How's
Yeah,
it going,
because
Coach?
it's going. We just got to keep your stress down because
Yeah.
your body does not like it.
Well, luckily, softball is over now. Packing is coming to an end. I think it's about to calm down. So
Good, good. So yeah. Also, I think it's funny that to say the line, I got my house delivered to my land. I I
it's
don't know that. I
a
just
crazy world we live in.
yeah, you can deliver, get your house delivered. I would probably do that. I get my groceries delivered. So if
So
I
do I.
ever
Grocery delivery is my favorite thing.
save, it's like this is how I don't have. Well, I basically use DoorDash or Instacart or whatever as my personal assistant. It's like I don't outsource anything. I don't have like an editor or a graphic designer, so I'm like I am gonna hire DoorDash to grocery shop for me.
Heck yeah. Okay, I have to call you out. Well, no, I'm not calling you out. I'm genuinely curious because I'm curious how I weird I am. How often do you order groceries in a
uh,
week?
hmm, it depends, but I would say at least at least twice, maybe three times, because I always forget something.
Same. Okay, I wanted to see if I was the worst because I've already ordered groceries twice this week, and I realized I'm already gonna have to start subbing something tomorrow, and
Yeah.
I'm like, ooh, we're just gonna sub that out because I cannot do another grocery store trip before the middle of the week.
Oof. Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, I think it's hard because food doesn't last that long either. So you don't want to like buy something, have it go bad. Because when you don't have like that's the bad part about not doing your own grocery shopping is you can't like pick the produce to make sure it's not shit
Exactly.
or that it's not going to go bad like the next day or is already moldy. So I've definitely got some produce that's questionable, is already going bad. And so it's like you have to eat it now and then you have to order more groceries because you didn't plan for the shit you ordered to be expiring like that day.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's the
So annoying.
downside. But it still saves time in the end. And that's ultimately what I always aim for. But I also forget things. And so I'm like, shit, well, I have to order something else.
Well, it's typically really good for my budget also because I'm someone who loves to try new things and new products and especially like as a coach, I'm sure you get the temptation too because I'm like always looking for something I can recommend. So
Yeah,
trying new shit is something I will get distracted with if I go to the grocery store
that's fair. That's true.
by
I
myself.
think that's the thing with like people are always like, oh, groceries, it costs so much more. You're paying extra. It's like, well, yeah, you are. It's convenience. You're paying for convenience, but it stops from impulse buys, which is
Mhm.
huge. And you don't realize that sometimes, like, you can spend upwards to 100 bucks more than you meant to spend at the grocery store because maybe you're hungry or maybe things just look good and you're just like, yeah,
Mhm.
whatever, I'm here. So I think it evens out in the end,
Yeah.
honestly.
Well, and we have like something. It's like Kroger. It's a fancy Kroger. It's like Kroger Prime or something, and it you get like triple gas points and free delivery if you have over $35 of groceries. So it is always worth it for me
Nice.
because I
Yeah.
feel like it evens out.
Yeah. That's fair. I think. I mean, I use mostly DoorDash now, sometimes Instacart, depending what I need. Uh, and I just use like my cashback credit card for like online shopping, and so it gives me like
Oh,
cashback.
smart.
So it's just like you always get like a little something back is if you play your
Oh,
cards right.
something, something, something,
A
something.
little something
Uh-huh.
for paying for convenience.
Yeah. Well, now that everybody knows all of our grocery store shopping habits, there's not too much super current events that we had to talk about today. I know I've been watching a little bit of the DNC happening in Chicago. I mostly did the roll call because I thought that was fun because they had all kinds of fun guest stars.
I'll have to like catch that.
You'll have to Google it, or I was watching them on TikTok.
Okay.
But Lil Jon came out for Georgia and sang, and that was pretty awesome. So that was my favorite so far.
That's awesome. Yeah, I don't have favorites. All I know is I got a little like notification that Obama, Michelle Obama and Barack did their little speeches and little speeches. Apparently they were good.
Giant speeches.
They're giants. They're loud. But I haven't watched them yet. So I'm going to do that at some point. But yeah, I'm just hoping, I don't know. It's hard to, because I didn't watch it, but I check X or Twitter, whatever, you'll want to call it. I need to respect X's chosen name, not their first name. So, just kidding. That's a joke because Elon Musk is an asshole. But
Yeah, no
so X, I go on there just to kind of see any commentary, and I'm kind of surprised because like normally my feed is full of conservative conspiracy theories and stuff like that. People I don't even follow. But I was seeing a pretty good amount of like mix of stuff when I was cruising through it last night or this morning at 2 a.m. when I couldn't sleep. It was like, yeah, it was a good mix. And then the one thing that I kind of hopped upon, I kind of told you about was like, I'm still so weirded out by the right's fascination with trying to just to figure out like who is trans or like accusing certain women of being men or trans women, like Michelle Obama. There's a thing going around saying that she's a trans woman, she was born a man. Like they're just like, it's a witch hunt. It's so bizarre. Along with the French president's wife, they're saying was born a man. And it's just like, first of all, like, why does it matter, especially when it comes to the French president? Like, it's not even your country. Like, what is wrong with you people? Why are you so obsessed?
They probably can't pronounce the name even.
Probably not. So it's just kind of this. It's the same reason that they got in trouble for, or the boxer situation where they just accused her of being a man, and now she's suing J.K. Rowling, Elon Musk, and Logan Paul, I think. But it's kind of funny to watch. I guess I saw something where J.K. Rowling deleted like 37 tweets since she was sued, along with she hasn't tweeted since the lawsuit began. So that's interesting.
That's a kind of cool thing.
Yeah, there's
less hate in the world.
Right.
Okay.
Or to like force someone to, I mean, not, she hasn't taken accountability, of course, but at least, it's not going to be out there on the internet anymore. But that's only the very minor thing that has happened. Is she going to turn around and apologize? Probably not, unless it was forced and she has a lot to lose. But yeah, I just don't understand the fascination. It's like, it's almost like the conservatives' version of Natty or Not. Like, trans or not. And it's just like, who the fuck started this?
You're right. I like that. And what a great segue.
Yeah. Yes. So speaking of Natty or Not, I'm just kidding. Bodybuilding.
Bodybuilding.
So bodybuilding, it's grown. Let's just say it didn't used to have as many categories. I'm glad that they do, but essentially more categories are created to try to give everyone kind of like a chance, because
place.
not everyone's meant to be a massive refrigerator block of muscle. So yeah, do we?
I have 10 because I made this little guide just to help me talk
Yeah,
about on the podcast.
I got 10 too.
Um,
So
yeah, I got 10 categories. So, what do we want to do? Do we want to kind of break it up between men's and women's, and then we'll kind of dive in? Let's make people wait. Let's do the women first.
yeah, it's because in case anyone knew, there is women's bodybuilding and women's divisions. We tend to talk about mostly men's because that's where we're competing. But in the women's world, do you want to start with like the smallest and kind of work our way up
That
as far
sounds
as
good to me. And they also the women also have the most divisions.
they do, which is interesting. And it's hard because
Mhm.
like each division they're looking for something, but sometimes it's hard to tell the difference between bikini and figure,
I
especially. But
agree.
like sometimes they
And
compete in
wellness.
both. Yeah. Well, wellness is a little easier because it's like it's just all ass, but
Yeah, I guess
uh
that's true.
like you're definitely wellness. Um so yeah, smallest smallest what I guess that's weird to say, but bikini it's like that's where gym women usually start in bikini because like you can actually do that natural mostly,
Yeah, you
but
can.
there are a lot of bikini competitors that are not natural still. So it's not to say that everyone is natural or can be, but it can be a
And
possibility.
we're covering the NPC categories. So this is the
Yeah,
National Physique Committee categories. This is like the biggest federation for bodybuilding. It's the one that like IFBB pros are in or started in, I guess.
yeah,
Um,
because you have to win in the NBC to get your pro card to compete in the IFBB. So yeah,
All right, sorry to interrupt you. I can go over what the judges are looking for in bikini, or did
yeah.
you?
No, I didn't go over it yet. So
Uh,
go for it.
okay, cool. So what we're looking for, what judges are looking for, are more developed lower body, so glutes and thighs, a healthy athletic appearance, a well balanced figure, and a pronounced lower body compared to upper body. So these are this, what I would kind of say is like a cheerleader to the extreme, like that type of body, very skinny, very feminine but athletic looking.
Yeah, and it basically it's that you can be too muscular for a bikini. So there's these divisions that sometimes you can't have too much of a good thing. So bikini would be one of them. You're also like not going to be you're going to be pretty lean, but there is also too lean in bikini as well. Um, yeah, because for conditioning they're looking more with a little bit more like softness to it
Yeah,
instead of
softer.
just like that hard crisp muscle look. So
Yeah.
that's why I think a lot of women who don't want to have like the effects of steroids potentially either compete in bikini, they either stay there or maybe you can go to figure. But beyond that point, I feel like there's a little bit of a acceptance of you're going to have to take PEDs, and this could impact things like your voice and the things that
Hair
they tell us when we transition.
and
So it's just like that's when it starts to kind of impact things a little differently. So bikini is like usually like that first division that women tend to compete in. Um,
yeah, um sorry, yes. And one I did want to just point out in women's bodybuilding compared to men's bodybuilding, even for bikini divisions, like so these like kind of starter divisions, um, so expensive. The
oh
women's
yeah,
outfit, their bikinis can cost like $600 like minimum. They are expected to wear jewelry, have full face makeup, nails,
hair, everything.
hair, everything. So it's very, very, very expensive for women to get into bodybuilding, and I just wanted to kind of point that out. So,
Yeah, even more expensive than the men, like by far. And the shit part
oh yeah,
is the like, I mean, this is NPC. There's no money prizes, but when we get into like, the IFBB, the pro level, they do not win as much. Yet they have to pay more to even compete. So
way more.
it's sad. But yeah, so after bikini, then
Oh
I'd
wait, I
say,
wanted to do
oh,
the poses real quick.
okay.
There's for bikini there are four poses: quarter turns, front, side, and back, and these are all kind of relaxed. You're never gonna see the women in bikinis like flex a lot. Obviously, people are flexed on stage, but you're not supposed to look like you're flexed.
Kind of like men's physique.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so they're
All right,
looking
sorry,
for
continue.
poise and confidence and stage presence and those sort of things, femininity and yeah. So
Grace.
figure, yeah, and grace. So figure is the next bump up from bikini. So you're gonna have a little bit more muscularity, a little more size, focus more, still on shape though, not just mass. Uh,
Mhm.
so they're still looking for like a little bit softer than say bodybuilding or physique, but definitely leaner than bikini. So, and with most things, I feel like it's just kind of a given in every division. They're looking for symmetry, certain size for the division that it fits, and conditioning. So those are like the main three things. Always looking for symmetry, though. No one wants to be like out of balance.
And the emphasis that they put in figure is on shoulders, back, and waist. So keeping the waist super, super small and more of that kind of hourglass shape.
Which, if you think about it, is not easy. When you're down to like single digit body fat percentages, women keeping an ass is not going to be easy. And that's
No.
also why you see a lot of women get like breast implants because they're still like judging you on your femininity. And if you don't have the curves,
Boobs. Yeah.
then you're going to get marked down, which is just. I it's like I hate
So
this.
ridiculous. So ridiculous.
um so that's figures.
It's
So
the same poses also, or
okay.
no, they have no side pose, just quarter turns back and front.
All right. So then after figure we have physique. I like women's physique because I feel like it's that perfect little like you could they're muscular and they're like shredded, uh
Mm-hmm.
but they're not like like women's open bodybuilding is essentially the equivalent to men's where it's just like everything goes and
Yeah.
it's
It's more like a classic physique style.
yeah for women.
Yeah, exactly. And they don't have to, I don't think they have to wear the heels either, do they?
I don't think so. Yeah, it's
So, and for bikini divisions, wellness divisions, and figure, I think they have to all wear like, they're like stripper heels.
yeah, I think they're
Um,
specifically like 5 inches or something like that. Like it's
yeah,
you're like who made
it's
these
crazy.
rules? Can we refine these? Like once you look at it, you're like this is just weird.
Yeah, there's at my gym that I go to, there's a professional women's physique competitor, and she is so fucking impressive. I We train basically the same time every day, and we're both very consistent. And so I see her all the time, and we chat. But very very impressive. She just competed at the Chicago Pro
Oh, nice.
a couple weeks ago.
Rad. Yeah, there's a women's physique competitor at my gym as well, and we don't chat because I'm a hermit and I don't talk to anybody. But I always see her because she's there every day. Also impressive. It's just I don't know. It's just one of those looks you can just tell it,
Yeah,
like they
she's a
worked super
badass.
hard for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just impressive. But yeah, so women's physique, I like watching that one.
Hmm. Did we go over? What did we go over?
Oh, what they're looking
Uh,
for?
yeah, did we do that?
I kind of did. Basically, it's just like a
Okay.
little bit more muscularity, definitely leaner. Um, so just balanced striations, shredded, that sort of thing. Um, but they are
Yeah.
still judging on femininity. So they're essentially telling women, we want you to be muscular, but don't go too hard on the drugs. Like,
Yeah. And the for posing, this is the first women's division that actually gets to like flex also, which is dope that they get to show off all their fucking hard work. So,
yeah,
the mandatory poses are front double, side chest, back double, side try, abs and thigh, and favorite pose.
nice. I feel like if I didn't transition, I would aim to compete in women's physique. Um, Still tempted sometimes. No, I'm just kidding. Uh, I'll just shave my face and go for it. We'll, you
Oh my
know,
god.
go for the.
See if all the conservatives will be happy then.
Well, then they would be telling me I was a man.
Yeah, no kidding.
So maybe I should give that a try. But anyways, okay. So after women's physique, we have fitness. Um, because I didn't want to go straight to bodybuilding.
It's my favorite. This is my favorite category to watch. I have to
Yeah,
say.
it is fun, and I don't. Okay, so I'm not clear in this area. I've never seen a fitness category at any of my
Really?
shows or anything. So I think it's only like certain shows that have it. It's in the Olympia, uh,
Hmm.
but I'm like, how do they
It's at the
qualify?
Arnold.
Okay, so maybe
Um,
yeah,
I yeah, it's super cool because I always try to Maddie. It's our compromise. So Maddie will go if we can watch the women's fitness category. So I always try to make sure I get that day to watch it. But they're so cool. There's this one pro who's always comes to Arnold, and she's won it a couple times, and she does like homages to Arnold. So like she did a Terminator theme one year. She did a Predator theme one year. And they're bad ass.
yeah, that one's fun because like they get to use their creativity, and it's essentially like watching a shredded gymnast because they're
Mhm.
doing their shit on stage. There's like a theme, there's music, it's entertainment. So it's good stuff to watch, and it's fun. And I don't understand why there isn't more of it. I feel like it's one of those uh, kind of like fading categories, but
Yeah, I
you
agree.
know, I don't think it should
Because
be
it's
to me.
hard, I'd imagine.
Yeah, because
Because
if
I
you
can't
think,
imagine being that low in body fat and then be like, go do okay, we also need to explain what it is. So in
oh
this,
yeah,
they do bodybuilding plus gymnastics, dance, and strength moves. So there's like
yes,
certain list of moves that they have to hit, and it's like a standing back flip, splits, one-handed push-up, like stuff like that. And so that's why we mean it's so much harder because they have to be at a crazy caloric deficit and get judged on their body as well as perform.
yeah, yeah, and it's like, uh, with men's bodybuilding, it's well known bodybuilding is not for performance. You feel like shit. You're lean, but you have no energy. So to do flips and shit on stage, like fuck that. You just gotta go
No,
up there and flex, and that's hard enough. Like posing is actually
it's so
exhausting.
hard.
So I can't imagine doing a whole gymnast routine as being exhausted. So I feel like there should be a men's fitness because I think like bodybuilding kind of originally did have a fitness aspect. Like you had to like lift something on
With
stage,
stuff. Yeah.
and so it's like the other point of this is like in the routine they're showing like strength, flexibility, agility, and like you have to have actual skill. Whereas bodybuilding doesn't take skill, it just takes discipline and like hard work and genetics. So I feel like
Mhm.
this is where the category like it really stands out because it does take some skill, talent, coordination.
Absolutely. performance, and you have to get it right.
Yeah.
So I agree. It's crazy. Definitely check out a video if you haven't checked it out before.
Yes, it's fun. So then from there, we have women's bodybuilding, which
Bum, bum, bum.
like isn't really a thing anymore. Uh, no,
People don't
and
do it.
no, it's not at the yeah, it's just not a thing. Like physique is as high as it goes, um, and it's unfortunate, but it's almost like it's hard because like obviously it's not healthy,
Mm-hmm.
but women should get to decide whether they it's healthy for them or
What
not.
they
They should,
want to do. Yeah.
yeah, and it's almost like this gatekeeping thing of like men were like, no, we don't want women to essentially transition, like without
Yeah.
transitioning. And it's like, I feel like it's men still wanting control over women's bodies and wanting them to look a certain way. And that's why they're judged on femininity to keep them feminine and not to like look too hard or take too many drugs. But like, they don't give a fuck with men. They're like, you take all the drugs because you have to be a freak. Like, you gotta be huge.
Be an
And
ogre.
yeah, and like no one seems to care about their health. So it's like you could put a health label on the women's bodybuilding thing, but it's not entirely about that because they would care about the men's bodybuilders' health too if that was the
Yeah.
situation.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I don't get it, but it's get as big as possible and then flex all the things.
Yeah, yeah. I follow a few like women bodybuilders. It's definitely interesting, and I think I always find I kind of joke. I'm like the only difference between like me and them is identity. Like we're on the same shit.
Yeah.
they
Yeah, no kidding.
they have to shave their face too, and like it's just like basically it's just they're just women because they identify as women, and it kind of blows my mind, and it's a pet peeve of mine. Like in their comment section, it's awful. You got all the guys being like, "You look like a man. It's a man," and then I'm over here, and they're telling me I look like a woman, and like I'm a woman. I sound like a woman. They tell her she looks and sounds like a man. I'm just like, y'all are confusing. Make up your mind.
You can't have it both ways.
Nah, it's like however you want to identify, they tell you you can't. So
Stupid.
yeah.
All right. Well, should we switch over to the guys? We got it simple in men's bodybuilding.
It is. It's pretty simple. Do you want to start with the biggest and then work down to the smallest for the
Sure, we
men?
might as well. We'll go down the pyramid. Other way.
So men's bodybuilding. In the NPC, there's different categories within. So like once you get to the pro level, there's just open bodybuilding, and then there's 212, and classic physique. But in amateur, they have bantamweight, lightweight, middleweight, light heavyweight, and then I think also super heavyweight. I'm not totally sure on the weights on those ones. I should have looked that up.
I didn't even look it up.
But essentially, I think bantamweight is like 135 and below or something along those lines, like real, or maybe it's 145, like real small. Probably would be my category if I had legs.
It's my size.
Yeah. So the hard part is like once you go pro, think what's his name? Sean Giant Killer.
Clarita.
Yeah, Sean
Clarita.
Clarita. He, I think, either won in like bantam or lightweight or something. But once you go pro, you got to compete against all the people that are taller than you. So it gets a lot harder. So he is in 212, but he has won like an open show. So definitely a disadvantage if you're on the shorter side. But it doesn't mean that you can't win. But
Not
yeah.
by any means. And he has a dope physique. That guy, I've seen him in person. He's a cool looking dude.
Yeah. So Should we go over what they're looking for? I mean, we are. It's
Yeah, I
basically
can
muscle.
do. Yeah. So for judging, we're looking for overall mass, muscle density, symmetry, conditioning, low body fat, balance, size, proportion, symmetry. It's muscle, as much of it as you
Yeah,
can.
muscle and conditioning. Those are your. I mean,
Yes.
symmetry. But yeah, you got to be jacked and you got to be shredded. That's
Hmm.
all. That's all. Like it's easy, but
That's all, folks. Mandatory pose. Mandatory poses: front double bi, front lat spread, side chest, back double bicep, back lat spread, side try, abs and thigh, and most muscular.
yeah, it's also fun to watch. It's just because it is the freak show factor.
Yeah,
Um,
that's true.
but
Especially the pros. Yeah.
I swear though, I genuinely get concerned like about the health aspect of the open bodybuilders. Specifically, I just like Nick Walker scares me. Not in like he scares me. It's like I am worried about him, and I know he gets that a lot. But it's just like there's been a lot of deaths, and you're just like waiting for the next one. So it's a rough sport in so many ways.
Yeah, it's rough on your body. Hopefully, he's under the supervision that he needs to be.
Yeah.
All right, let's go into classic physique. Or did you want to go into 212?
Uh, oh yeah, I
Did
guess
you
that would be
break it
the
out?
next. No, yeah. So 212. That's like the next category down. It's anyone who weighs under 212. So if you're a smaller guy, you're gonna have better luck
That's your
in
category.
212. I mean, so like Derek, he competed in 212 and won. A lot of the open bodybuilders
Mhm.
at one point did compete in 212, and then they just get to the point where they can no longer stay under 212, so they have to move up. Um,
Yeah.
unless you're Sean, he'll be fine forever. The guy's like 5 foot. It's crazy. Uh,
Yeah,
but being 5 foot and 170 pounds shredded looks insane. I can
it sure
imagine
does.
being like I've never hit 175 even in bulking. So close this time.
I I did before I lost my weight, but not after.
Plus, he's 2 inches shorter than me, so
Mm.
that's even makes it even crazier because he's small and just dense. But so yeah, anyone under 212, that's the biggest restriction. They're looking for the same things. They're looking in an open. Uh, you know, they're always looking for a good shape. You're not supposed to be like a block of muscle, so you're still wanting to have that small waist and all that stuff that they're looking for. But yeah, as much muscle as you can have while weighing under 212 pounds. Conditioning is also huge in this division. So pretty basic.
Mm. So next one is classic physique. This is the category that I compete in. Combines the muscularity of bodybuilding with the aesthetics of men's physique, inspired by the kind of golden age of bodybuilding. So think Arnold.
Yeah.
Think, yeah, think Arnold. Frank Zane. That like
Yeah.
the smaller, not smaller, but like more statuey looking
Yeah.
bodies that
Eh,
look like kind of like Greek gods esque
mm-hmm.
things.
Yeah. It's like that one's my. I'll let you take the whole lead on it because it is your division.
Okay.
But I just want to
Alrighty.
say it is also my favorites to watch because the posing and just that's where the physique still just looks nice and it's not
Yeah.
like I'm worried you're gonna die.
Yes. Absolutely. So with this, what the judges are looking for is kind of just a balance between the muscle size and the aesthetic shape. So at all times, you're worried about what shape you're in, and posing becomes very, very, very important to make sure you're holding on to that shape and manipulating your body so that you're looking as close to that golden age as possible. Looking for a V taper, small waist, classic lines, emphasis on posing and presentation. Like I said, you see a lot more because we're still looking for balance and symmetry and all that jazz, but you do see a lot more of like kind of more dramatic posing. So leaning to one side, doing things a little bit rotated, that kind of situation. As for the posing, we got front double, side chest, back double, abs and thigh, side tricep, favorite classic pose, and yeah, that's it. Oh, and
Yeah.
sometimes most muscular, but not always.
Mm. Yeah. So
Did I miss
basically,
anything?
no, I think you got it all. And I was just gonna say, like, if anyone's ever watched Pumping Iron, or if you haven't, make sure to watch that. I feel like that's just. It's also, when
Such a
I'm
good one.
feeling like I need some inspiration or motivation, I'll watch it. You could probably find it for free on YouTube or whatever. I think that's where I found it last. But you also look at their physiques, and it's interesting to see how the categories or how bodybuilding has evolved over the years.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't used to look super shredded. They weren't quite as big. And it's like even in classic physique, they're still looking for shredded.
Yeah.
They're not like you should have a little bit of softer look. It's you still need to be shredded.
Yeah.
So I always wonder, like, who set that bar? Who was the first one to come in and be like, look at my glutes, like my ass is shredded. Like you see my glutes, or who came with the paper thin skin where you
Yeah.
see all the striations, and then like it just changed from there, or was it gradual? Right. It's like there's probably a bodybuilding history documentary somewhere out there that I haven't found yet, but I want to watch it, and then I want to know how it all got to where it
How
was.
did we drift over to you have no fat?
Yeah. How did we get here?
Yeah, because like Arnold and like they were still their diets weren't quite as nutty as
No.
they are now. They're not as strict because you didn't need to be.
Yeah.
And it would be nice to go back.
Yeah, they almost have physiques that you could healthily carry year round. They weren't very lean. They were like lean enough. They look about like maybe 10 weeks out from what a show would be currently. So it's interesting how it got more dangerous, that's for sure.
Because we have to take everything to the extreme.
We have to always. So, last but not least, with the men's, so we have a men's physique, and this is the category that I compete in, because I have no legs. So this is a different. It's much different. So you wear board shorts on stage, and it's supposed to essentially replicate like a beach body look. However, it has also evolved since this category was created, and it's now basically upper body bodybuilding. You have to be quite large. They're trying to change that. They did create a weight cap for the IFBB, so they're trying to slow down the freak factor that is, men's physique is turning into. So it is kind of being pushed back a little bit. I'm happy about this. I think a lot of people are, because it just got weird. It's like you have this huge upper body and not any legs. Let's create some more balance here. So they're still looking, they're looking for like your V taper, broad shoulders, small waist. You want to have muscle. You do need size still. It's not like bikini in the women's division where you don't really need that much. Like you still need to be jacked. And conditioning is very, very highly emphasized when it comes to judging. And you don't flex in this one. So you do get a hint of like a figure in the men's division where you pose, like you have a front pose, a side pose, and back. And that is it. Like literally it. There is no, your routine is about 30 seconds long, 60 tops, if you can create a whole minute's worth of the same front, side, and back poses.
If you walk really slow.
Yeah, like it's not the most exciting, and it's the hardest division to, like, even though I compete in it, it's the hardest one to see, look at someone and be like, they're the ones that are going to win. Because it's just like physiques are very similar. Uh, unless someone's conditioning is off, then you can be like, yeah, that's not it. But it is like that small waist, the broad shoulders, not being overly muscular, being conditioned as fuck. But they are kind of, grading you a bit on like your stage presence and confidence and stuff like that. But um, it's since you can't flex, it is a harder one to tell. Like, I'll watch men's bodybuilding, whether it's open or classic, and I can usually at least predict like top five or like three of the top five that I think, might be the winner, or maybe even predict who I think is going to win. But like when it comes to men's physique, it's so hard. I'm just like, there's so many that look so good. Like, how do the judges even decide, So,
And there's typically so many in men's physique. There's
yeah.
like I would say it's probably the, other than bikini, the most popular category, and so it's always really hard for me as well because there's like so many people comparing it. It's a lot.
Yeah. I think when it comes to men's physique, one of the things that I do or am able to kind of point out is usually the backs, yeah. When someone has like a really defined back, that stands out the most. And then I'm like, okay, I think this one, like
Yeah,
they're
that
probably
makes
going to be
sense.
top three, whatever. And abs also, those are very important in men's physique. So if someone has great abs and a great back, you're pretty set. You do need to have like cap shoulders. So you just have to like, it's very specific, like big shoulders, abs, back, lean, So it's a harder one to spot, but it's there. It's a little bit of a boring category, but it is one of the more competitive, and because there's usually a lot of entries, because it allows for more average people to compete in it, because not everyone has the genetics to get to open size bodybuilding category. Also, not everyone wants to be that size, me included. Not that I could.
Yeah, I don't want to be that big either. So.
No. So it's minimal risk too, as far as like PEDs go, because you're not having to be that big. But that actually, there's a lot of there's a lot of men's physique guys that do a little too much. Maybe they have bad genetics. They make up for it with just blasting more drugs, so it can still be dangerous. But it's not like you're carrying around 300 pounds of yourself in the off season. It's a little bit healthier. It should be. It can be, depending. But,
Awesome. Well, we got through that really well. So cool.
yeah.
Oh, I wrote up this little thing about tanning because that was one question I got. So I did wanted to just briefly tack on tanning and why that's done. Is that cool?
Yes, please do.
Cool. So, tanning and bodybuilding, one of the first questions I always get asked is, why the hell does everybody get spray tanned? And so there's like four reasons. First, it enhances muscle definition. So it highlights the muscle detail. It allows it to accentuate the definition by making the skin appear darker, which creates more contrast between muscles and shadows, blah, 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 blah. Evens out your skin tone also. So if you're a little bit splotchy, it'll make everything look nice and even under the stage lights. Because of those bright stage lights, that intense lighting can wash out competitors, especially with their natural skin color. So having that spray tan will also help you appear less flat and more defined again.
Yeah.
So the darker tan kind of helps counteract that effect. Uniformity. So the idea here is to level the playing field to an extent. Everybody kind of looks the same. And then we'll also have it easier for the judges, so you can see some consistency between those.
Yeah.
And then just finally is the aesthetic appeal. So just to look healthy, you're not healthy during prep, especially on stage day. So it's trying to give you some color, look a little happier, paint you up nice. Um, and yeah, it can also help highlight that vascularity and make that your veins really pop too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did I miss anything?
I don't think so. Yeah. And there's a few things that just made me laugh because so now they've had it for a while, but they have like makeup for men too on stage, and especially with men's physique, it is kind of like the pretty boy, which is probably why I just lose. I'm just kidding. But so
Ridiculous.
They do have, you can purchase like face blending or like, show makeup, just because if they don't do your face, you're gonna be all like dark and then you're just white,
With a
your
white
face.
head.
Yeah, and it doesn't look right. So I purchased face blending for the first time in my last show because I was just like, I don't want to look weird. And it was like, I think it was like $40, and it did not do anything different. I still looked like I crawled out of the grave. Like I was a zombie. My face was all like, looked like it was just dirt. And at some point, this lady was like, "Okay, you're good." And I'm just like, "What did you do? Like, I paid for this shit." So just beware if you pay for face blending. It can be helpful, but make sure you get your money's worth and like don't just let them. I think they were in a rush, and then if they're in a rush, they're not even fucking doing anything, and you just lost $50.
That sucks.
Yeah, hopefully, they have actual like makeup people in the future. I wasn't looking for makeup. I just like make it look natural. It did not. But I have gotten a few comments before. So there's always this assumption by the general public of that we think that the tans look good and that's why we do it.
Oh, no one thinks the tans look good, and they're a pain in the ass.
Yeah, that is not why we do it. It is like you mentioned, it is the lighting, so you don't wash out to even the playing field. And I remember I posted like a bodybuilding post at some point. I think I was tan, maybe it was me. It was of me, yeah. And someone asked me if I felt like it was offensive, like it was like blackface, and I was like, really, we're going there? Okay. No, because like even black people, like they need to tan because it just smooths out, makes it all even. So like everyone tans. It's not just something
everybody
that fair skinned people like me do. It's everybody. And also like, I think they tried to argue that we should adjust the lighting. And it's just like, the only way to make it fair, you can't adjust.
You can't adjust. No. You can't adjust the lighting like that. And it's also not feasible for a show to do that.
No. So it's just like, it really is the easiest way to make things more of a, even playing ground is to do the tanning. So it's just interesting, like I can understand that assumption from like the outside perspective. But bodybuilding is actually like a really diverse sport and community. No one, like we're all just chasing the same thing, which is to better ourselves. And there are assholes in every community, but it is very diverse. So I've never seen anyone have any sort of reaction like that within the actual bodybuilding community. So it's just funny sometimes, like you see like what they think of certain things because they're not like in it, and you're just like, wow, people like, okay, wouldn't have thought about
That's not what I expected.
Yeah. It's like, I get they look bad, but brain didn't go there.
All right. Well, I think that's all we had for bodybuilding today. Do we want to go ahead and go into the power talk? What you got for us?
Yeah. Let's see here. Let me grab the quote that I chose about 5 minutes ago. Oops. Why you do this to me? Okay. All right. So, and as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. So I chose that one because I'm someone with a whole lot of anxiety and fear. And, you never know like who you're impacting, I guess, by doing the hard things yourself. And you're impacting more than yourself. Like you can inspire others to like get past their fears. And I think that was more of just like a reminder for me. I'm like, I am so anxious. I can't do X, Y, Z. But then I'm thinking, well, I know there's other people that feel the same way. Maybe if I can get myself to do it, I can inspire others to do the same. Um, so yeah.
You inspire me every day, my man. Hey, that's not supposed to be a laughing matter. That I mean, you got me into this crazy sport, and we're seeing it through together, which is kind of dope. Yeah. So, 30 days left, my brother.
Yes, and looking forward to seeing you on the stage. So, yeah, we'll just keep showing up naked on stage, unafraid.
Unafraid. Unafraid. All right.
All right.
Dope. All right. Well, talk to you later. Have a great week, lab listeners. Please remember to if you could share us. We want to talk to more folks. We love you forever. Please share.
Yes.
Goodbye.
Please share. Peace out, guys.